Approximately 68 to 66 million years ago, a species of pterosaur known as Quetzalcoatlus was active on Earth. It lived during the late Cretaceous time period. One of the biggest flying animals that ever lived, the Quetzalcoatlus had a wingspan of up to 40 feet, making it one of the largest flying creatures that ever existed. It is called after the deity Quetzalcoatl, who was worshipped in Aztec religion. Fossils of this creature have been found in Texas, Oklahoma, and Mexico. Its body was on the smaller side in contrast, measuring around 18 feet in length and weighing between 200 and 550 pounds, according to estimates. Because of the length and narrowness of its wings, it had a streamlined aspect while it was in flight. The neck of the Quetzalcoatlus was long and thin, and it was utilized by the animal to reach down and grab its prey from the ground, or to reach down and grab fish from the water when it was flying. It had a rather short and elongated head, and its beak was extremely pointed and sharp. It had enormous eyes that were set on the sides of its head, giving it a broad field of view for locating its prey. One of the most distinguishing characteristics of the Quetzalcoatlus was its long finger bones, which extended out from the wings to support a thin membrane of skin that made up the wing surface. This was one of the most unique aspects of this extinct dinosaur. Additionally, the bones in the fingers were hollow, which helped reduce their overall weight and made them more aerodynamic when flying. Scientists think that Quetzalcoatlus was a competent flyer, capable of flying for great distances without flapping its wings, as a result of the traits of its body that indicate it was able to do so. It was most likely seen spending the most of its time in the air, looking for prey on the ground below. In spite of its enormous size, the Quetzalcoatlus was most likely not a predator of huge animals, since it did not have the physiological adaptations necessary for struggling with heavy prey. Instead, it most likely fed on reptiles, snakes, and insects that it could grab with its large beak. Lizards may also have been a favorite prey item. It's possible that Quetzalcoatlus was also a scavenger, meaning that it fed on the dead bodies of huge dinosaurs that had already fallen to the ground after dying. Because of its massive size and the fact that it was able to soar, it would have been well suited to traveling long distances in search of food. Because of its massive size, the Quetzalcoatlus would have required to eat a significant amount of food in order to maintain its body. Most likely, it relied on a wide range of prey animals in order to satisfy its nutritional requirements. Scientists think that Quetzalcoatlus may have lived in coastal or inland settings, maybe near rivers or lakes where it could obtain both water and prey. This hypothesis is based on the animal's morphology. Since it was a flying creature, it would have been able to travel great distances in its pursuit of food and a place to nest that was just right for it. Although it is likely that Quetzalcoatlus had few natural enemies due to its status as a top predator, it is possible that it faced competition for prey from other large carnivorous dinosaurs. It is possible that environmental issues, such as droughts and other forms of climate change, were the principal dangers it faced. These circumstances might have altered the amount of food and water that was available. In addition, Quetzalcoatlus and other pterosaurs, as well as other animals that shared their aerial habitat, may have been susceptible to being hunted and eaten by enormous predatory birds and other animals. Quetzalcoatlus, along with a great number of other dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals, became extinct around the end of the Cretaceous epoch, which occurred roughly 65 million years ago. It is not known for certain what led to the extinction of this species. Nevertheless, it is very probable that a number of environmental causes, like changes in temperature and collisions with asteroids, were involved. In spite of the fact that they no longer exist, Quetzalcoatlus and other pterosaurs have left a significant legacy to the evolutionary history of life on Earth. These pterosaurs have provided essential insights into the amazing behaviors and adaptations of the flying animals they formerly inhabited. A geology graduate student by the name of Douglas A. Lawson made the first discovery of Quetzalcoatlus fossils in the year 1971 at Big Bend National Park in the state of Texas. Since that time, additional fossils of this incredible creature have been discovered in a number of other locations across the continent of North America. As a result of the fact that many of these fossils are incomplete remnants, such as shards of bone, teeth, and bits of beak, it is difficult to entirely recreate the anatomy of the animal that these fossils once belonged to. However, thanks to these fragments, researchers have gained a significant amount of knowledge regarding the biology of the Quetzalcoatlus. They were able to rebuild the animal's bones, muscles, and flying skills via the use of computer modeling, which provided insights into how this massive species was able to fly and hunt in its ancient habitat. Around 230 million years ago, during the late Triassic period, the first flying reptiles known as pterosaurs appeared on the scene. Quetzalcoatlus was a member of this larger group of flying reptiles known as pterosaurs. Although pterosaurs were not dinosaurs, they were closely related to dinosaurs and lived during the Mesozoic era at the same time as dinosaurs. Pterosaurs went through a lot of changes in the way that their bodies looked as they progressed through the course of their development. The wingspans of the first pterosaurs were barely a few feet, but as time went on, these creatures progressively expanded into bigger and more impressive forms. Pterosaurs had achieved their apogee in terms of size and variety by the time Quetzalcoatlus was alive, which was during the late Cretaceous era. Pterosaurs belonging to the family Azhdarchidae were easily recognizable by the length of their necks and the beaks on their faces. Quetzalcoatlus is considered to be a member of this family. In addition to Quetzalcoatlus, other dinosaurs belonging to this family include Arumbourgiania and Hatzegopteryx. Both of these dinosaurs existed at the same time and in the same location as Quetzalcoatlus. The precise link that exists between Quetzalcoatlus and other members of the Azhdarchidae family is still a topic of discussion amongst scientists. The findings of some research point to the possibility that it was more closely linked to Arumbourgiania, while the findings of other studies point to the possibility that it was more closely connected to Hatzegopteryx. Despite this, all three species of pterosaur have several characteristics in common, such as their long necks, beaks, and relatively enormous sizes. The fact that fossils of Quetzalcoatlus and other pterosaurs are generally hard to come by and sometimes broken up into little pieces is a significant obstacle for paleontologists. Pterosaurs possessed fragile, thin bones that were quickly broken and destroyed, in contrast to dinosaurs, which left behind huge bones that are reasonably simple to recognize. Pterosaurs also had comparatively few bones. Because of this, scientists sometimes have to depend on partial or fragmented remains in order to piece together the bodies of these extinct animals. In spite of these obstacles, researchers in recent years have achieved a great deal of progress in their understanding of Quetzalcoatlus and other types of pterosaurs. The researchers have been able to rebuild the wings and flying capabilities of these ancient species with greater precision because of the development of more sophisticated imaging methods and computer modeling. X-ray imaging was employed in a recent research that was just released in the year 2020 in the journal PLOS Biology to generate three-dimensional models of the wings of Quetzalcoatlus and other pterosaurs. According to the findings of the experts, these animals were able to fly for great distances without flapping their wings in the same way that contemporary birds can. Because of this skill, they were able to save their energy and travel great distances while looking for food and breeding places. According to the findings of the research, the wings of pterosaurs were very flexible, which gave the animals the ability to make quick twists and corrections while they were flying. It's possible that this was a necessary adaptation for them to make in order to escape being eaten by predators or to capture food in their airborne habitat. Thanks for tuning in to this video. We hope you found it informative and enjoyable. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this in the future. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos.